This week we're back in the wilds of Scotland as we get on with some of the less glamorous tasks involved with the renovation of our 17th century miner's cottage before we head off on our travels again to a place with some very interesting sculpture. Another day, another task. We're now going to start getting rid of this shed, and I say we because Bex said to get rid of that shed, and Bex is just leaving. She's leaving because it's about to get fraught and possibly a wee bit sweary. But let's see if she can get out of this parking space first. Everybody, look at Bex.
Bye.
Bye bye. I will get on with the task that you've set me. See you later. Safe drive. So this is the task at hand. The first thing I'm going to try and do, I think, is get the roof off it. The stuff that's in it can stay in it just now. If I can get the roof off, that's a tin roof over the original roof, that'll be a lot less to look at. Then I'm going to try and get the glass out without breaking it, because it's easier to transport than it is to cut yourself. And then, yeah, lots and lots of unscrewing and hitting with a big hammer. How's that for a plan? So the next step after getting the front bit off is I think just removing screws at random until this all just slides down. How's that for a plan? Sounds slightly dangerous, but we'll give it a go. And so far the good news is that the screw heads are not completely rusted, so that is good, honest, good. Right, so that's, oh look, that's one there. Right, lots more of these to take off, but I will oh, we're getting there, we're definitely getting there. This bit, as far as that sort of line down there, is part of the ground that belongs to the cottage. So this shed's been built a good bit forward from that line. I have no idea why, but we're going to, new shed is going to be built back, so we've got more space in the garden. My only concern now is when I remove that screw, I think that thing might slide towards me and chop me in half. So get ready for a Darth Maul episode next. If you don't know who Darth Maul is, he was, yeah, go and look it up. Right, I think that is all detached. That is all detached. Whoop whoop, that is phase one, the very, very first phase of phase one. A few trip and fall hazards along here, but I am trying to be careful, honest. Which is actually why I'm quite glad that Bex is headed off, because she would be doing all the health and safety stuff that I am so fastidiously ignoring. I've started, so I'll finish. What's the worst that could happen? It could decapitate someone. Yay! I am going to be keeping the tin somewhere because, well, waste not, want not. Another thing Bex won't see, I'll hide it out of sight somewhere. Come in handy one day. That's about half the tin off the top. This is going easier than I thought because the screws used to put it on there are not rusty. So yeah, I thought I'd be drilling stuff out. It's actually going okay. In terms of the renovation of the house, getting rid of this is going to be transformational, I think, because it's a pretty scabby shed. And that is almost that. I think this is the last bit, and I'm not sure if it's screwed in anywhere or not. Oh, apart from right in front of me. Duh. It's still screwed in down the bottom there. I'll go and do that one. I don't know about needing a gym, but this is a full body workout. This is, right, there we go. That's the last of the tin off the roof. Yay! Well, that is all the tin that was on the shed. Has come off much easier than was expected, so I might as well crack on with the demolition. Let's see what we can take apart with minimum effort. So far, I've still got all the fingers I started with, so that is definitely a bonus. Lots and lots of noisy idiots to go through this village. It's a bit of a pain. As I'm stripping this apart, I'm beginning to figure out that at some point it's been repaired with, this looks like an old fence that's been on the outside of it, so it might well become a fence again, because fence wood is quite expensive, so that might even temporarily make a fence. I'm keeping all those bits and throwing away all the little scrappy bits. Somebody is having far too much fun. You don't get much air traffic here, that's quite cool. A little smelly copter. Well, about an hour and a bit later, it has been stripped back to a previous layer of wood, which is, yeah, it's all just bits of old pallet now. I think that should be just all to get burnt. There's actually quite a lot of it to be burnt, I think. I don't think this stuff's any good for anything else ever. Break from the shed demolition because somebody is starving. So hungry, it's not been fed this week at all. Oh, poor wee doggle. There's not an awful lot left of whatever the structure was at the back. It's, yeah, patch up on patch up on patch. Genuinely think this is held together by the polythene. Soon find out. There's a sound you hear in metal but you don't often hear in lentils. Something exciting is happening in one lockhead, I think. Quite loud. I just did the worst job of the day, and I forgot to press record, because what I've done is lifted the glass out that was in the roof there, but it just looked like glass panels, but they're actually they're actually massive. I've got no idea why they use those for a skylight, but they are done now. Are you happy now you've had your dinner? I'm in for some lightweight technology, just a little delicate thing to help me with the shed. It's time for the crowbar. What I'm trying to do now is, De Niro, you're not going anywhere at the moment. What I'm trying to do now is get the windows out without smashing them, because obviously they're easy to transport if they're not all thousands of little bits with very sharp edges, so wish me luck. Right, I'm hoping these bits will just there we go. Now you see that the whole thing's moving there, that is positive. I don't want to break this glass because it would just be a pain. It might actually be quicker in the long run, but right, let's see how we get on. Right, I think this might actually work. That's where you say that and it all goes totally wrong. This is all bits of old pallet. It's just, I'd like to point out it wasn't me that built this thing, as you can probably tell. Looks like it was built about 100 years ago. Or whenever blue pallets were in fashion. Which means, to be fair, it's lasted not bad. The crowbar has done its job on that bit. Oops. It is all, to be fair, pretty rotten. So I don't think anybody will shed a tear for it. Shed a tear. Ba-boom! Oh bugger. Oh well, that was inevitable. At least it's all still in the frame. A bit more care required, or a bit more violence and not caring. One of the two. Alright, that's if that one's broken, it means I should be able to use the extra leverage to get the side bits out there. This is almost definitely not the best way to take glass out, but it is the quickest. Oh, right, okay. If at first you don't succeed, redefine success. This is now proceeding at pace, so get as much done as we can. I do have to drive down to Manchester, so this might be to be continued, but we'll see how we get on. Well, all of that progress and only one very minor injury, so that's I'm having that. I'm now going to not jinx it with that bit there. Whoop! That's the last bit of glass out, almost intact. I don't want to film a bin with glass just in case I upset the people that come to collect it, so I'll take that to the tip. Progress is progressing. It's lucky it's not been very well assembled in the first place, as I think I might have mentioned before. Anyway, that's substantially less shed-like than it was. Well, that is it for today. You've seen some acts of extreme violence enacted upon a shed. When I come back up next week, I will have to clear up all the rubbish, burn a lot of the wood, take the rest of it to the tip, and then get on with the rest of that increasingly open plan looking shed. It's all coming apart quite nicely. I suppose that's one good thing about it being so rotten. So me and De Niro are off to Manchester, and we'll pick this up again next week. And whilst I'm here, it'd be rude not to have a wee look for some treasure, but I don't think there is any, because I was only down here a couple of weeks back, so nothing else will have washed down since then. There's been no rain. Oh, I do have another job to do. We featured a brick in one of our previous videos, and our friend has said, does that brick have a name on it? I didn't really give bricks names. If it has, I think I'm going to call it Brian. Some people take their bricks very seriously, so they want to know what sort of brick this is. It's got a slot in it, and it's got a groove in the top. It's got things living on it as well. No idea, but definitely no name. Well, that's been done in lentils for now. We've got to have a look at something that I find quite interesting. It's not in lentils, it's actually back up in metal. This is a bit of an aside from what we've been showing you of late, but I love this place. This is where Bex works. Well, not in that one, obviously. This is Cameron Hospital, part of Fife NHS, and I think it's really interesting because it was built not just as a general hospital, but actually see if you can figure it out, because ignore all the new bits that are built there and look at the building there, and the building there, and the building up there, and the one beyond it. They're all separate. They weren't actually linked up because this was an infectious diseases hospital back in the early 1900s. There are some cracking buildings here. I'll go and show you my favourite, shall I? How's that for a plan? There's a throwback to the deep dark days of COVID. This was the local COVID testing centre for NHS staff. Unfortunately, NHS Fife are in a terrible state, largely due to finances. I'm not saying financial mismanagement because I don't know enough, but they seem to pay a lot of people an awful lot and not pay any money for anything else, like every other NHS NHS trust in the UK, I think, at the moment. So it's cheaper to shut these buildings down, board them up and let them rot than it is to actually do anything useful with them. I have been told, and I don't know if it's true or not, that the trust want to sell this off. It would all get demolished and turned into houses, but they can't, because it's right next to a massive distillery. So there's a blast radius in case the distillery alcohol explodes, and this is part of it, so they can't build houses. But what they can do is put the elderly and the infirm and stroke patients and stuff here, because that's fine. But if they're giving away the wee houses, I'll have that one. Actually, I don't know what that building was originally, but it is really cool. This is a really nice little square, because I think the oldest part of the hospital is to my right, turning slowly so you don't get a headache. That big brown building, there's a thing on the front of that is quite interesting, I think. There's also lots of rabbits about, but as you can see, he's absolutely not interested. Over there, just the other side of the river leaving, that is the Diageo distillery place. So yeah, lots and lots of very, very high strength alcohol in there. Make quite a big bang if somebody put a match to it, I suppose. And this is the original part of the hospital, I think. It's called Hague House, and as you can see, again, it's all boarded up and closed off. But look at that thing above the door. I think that is so smart. 1911 Infectious Diseases Hospital, and I'm wondering if it's called Hague House because it was donated or funded or endowed by somebody called Hague. That is, I guess, the borough of Buckhaven and Methil. That's us. You get the idea. What a waste of a perfectly good house. That's a cracking looking building. Oh, what does it say at the front? Fife County Council Gaborone Hospital. I've never noticed that before. I know with the other stuff in this week's episode, this is a little bit random, but I think this is a really interesting place. Anyway, that's enough of Fife and enough of, indeed, Scotland. Let's go and have another look at our wee trip to Norway. You fancy some of that? Yeah, let's do that. I'll try not to get run over because this is the middle of a roundabout. We were walking down the hill trying to figure out what that gnome was holding. He's holding a bell in one hand and don't know, a big ice lolly or an ice cream. It's no idea what that could possibly be, honest. That's pretty cool. That is a seat that plays with the perception of your brain, I think. You'd have to slide down there. And then, yeah, wow, we're heading down to the Munch building. Some really, really nice properties down here. That's a cracking residential block, isn't it? It's a nice wee place. Well, actually, I said that, but we've just decided we're not actually overly impressed with Oslo and its aesthetics. It's not a very pretty city so far. After quite a convoluted route, that is Edvard Munch's Platz in front of us. So it is the building we are looking for. But you can probably guess that from its general sort of weirdness. I've been desperately trying to think of something funny to say about the name Munch, and all I could think of was he's the inventor of Pac-Man. But that's terrible, I'll shut up now. Because Bex thinks you're all going to get fed up with my terrible jokes. I reckon most of you are just here for the terrible jokes. She's ignoring me now. Bex has told me that I can't do this one, but we thought we weren't going to come to Norway because we couldn't afford it. No, she's going to kill me now. Waited ages for those people to get out the way. They were just standing there. Yeah, rude people. Anyway, there's a view of the statue and the Munch Museum in the background. That's great. Good. I am an artist. That's photography. That is. It's time for a wee break. We don't do touristing in a very hardcore way. We're now sitting down and admiring the view and listening to all the Norwegian people shouting at each other. Hello, swans. What's Norwegian for hello, Mr. Swan? I don't have any bread, sorry. Swans are the same the world over. Always optimistic for some bread. We were just up on top of that hill over there, and we never noticed that big castle-y thing over there. No idea. But yeah, that is where the park run is. It's quite a lot of up. Not quite sure what that thing out in the middle of the water is. It's got a little house in it though. That's no idea, but it does look pretty cool. I've come out a little jetty to get a closer view of that, and it is a wee boat with a wee house in it. But I've also just noticed, look at the buildings over there, all the apartments are all like funky angles. That's quite smart. I'm trying to get the full. I can't make it look as good as it does in real life. Well, I probably could, but I would fall over there, and I'm not getting too close to the edge. But yeah, look at those buildings. They are quite funky behind the Munch Museum. Right, heading back down into the centre of town over this nice bridge that goes over the railway lines. Yeah, I'm quite liking Oslo. Apart from, as we said before, and as you can see for yourself, not awfully pretty. It's a national holiday today, so I don't know if this is opened, but there's some Norwegian words that we recognise. I lost Bex, and there she is over there looking. We're looking for some dinner now, but we thought public holiday, every Norway shut. Supermarkets are certainly shut. Hopefully restaurants and bars aren't. That's quite dangerous if you're drunk. I think we're not coming back here tonight. This is the Superstay Hotel. I would question our use of the word super. Lovely temperamental check-in machines.
Do not use the kitchen.
Do not use the kitchen. It smells like somebody been using the kitchen as a toilet, to be honest. It's disgusting. This is another excellent touch because if you're over 5'2", you want to put the shower up, you can't. It's all very, very well thought through. This place is, what's the word? Oh yeah,
basic.
Awful.
Basic.
Basic. You think it's basic?
It's basic.
Don't think that means awful.
It's got negative.
Tell the good people what happened.
I say earlier on, it wasn't negative customer service.
Tell the good people what happened when you went and asked for some milk for your coffee. Free coffee downstairs.
Free coffee, but they don't have any milk in the summer.
It's the summertime. You can't have milk in the summertime. Don't be ridiculous.
You can't have milk in your coffee in the summertime.
Of course not. That's just stupid.
Nor can you have a glass for your room, even though there's 200 glasses sitting behind the receptionist.
Or a teaspoon, or this place is basic.
She's not a receptionist, though, is
No,
she?
neither of the people who met downstairs have been very, what's the word? Nice?
Their customer service has not been good.
That's very diplomatically put,
I
Rebecca.
thought
Well
the
done.
Norwegians would have excellent customer service.
And then you came here. It is, in fairness, quite nice and quite clean. It just doesn't have any of the facilities you'd think. It used to be an apartment, but now you can't use the cooker in the room and you can't keep anything cold because there's no fridge. And now it's a hotel, except there's not a kettle in the room, so it's like no hotel we've ever been in before. And yeah. Lifts work, thankfully, because we are 6 flights up. They always put us as far away from the start as they can get away with, I think. Oh, this is the reception, which is quite nice. It's a nice area, but you can't do anything. What you can do is speak to the young lady who usually sits behind that desk, who's not, to be fair, very pleasant. And if you want, you can have some. So actually, she's sitting through there. That's a good customer services. And if you want, you can have some free coffee. But as we said earlier, you can't have any milk with it. But they do have a lovely cafe. That is, unfortunately, yeah. We are getting to know this road quite well. We'll do it again at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to go for a train, but that's something for our patrons. So if you want to see our train journey, get across to patreon.com. Don't worry, this is not a pitch for money because you can join up for free and you can see all the stuff that's up there already, including our train trip to Bergen. There's more of those really cool little thrushes that we saw. Oh, come back! You were doing so well at posing, now it's disappeared in that tree. Anyway, nice birdies. If you want a falafel, go to King Falafel. Yes, we're not going to King Falafel. Bex refused. I said, let's go for a falafel, and she said, I'd falafel about it in the morning. Bex, it wasn't serious. It's just because I can get falafel about it and as a joke. Because the punters are loving the jokes. And before I get called out by Bex, I don't actually know what a falafel is really. I've got a rough idea, but I couldn't tell you for sure. One thing I have noticed about Norway, if you can hear me over the wind noise and the siren, is lots of people look quite grumpy. We noticed this in Vilnius as well. They're not all as happy and smiley as they are in Metal. As Bex has just said, for everything being so expensive here, you thought there'd be more evidence of it, but it's not. It's all just a little bit. I mean, this bit looks like Manchester. This looks like round about Arndale in Manchester. It's all right, but it's not. Yeah, you can see it for yourselves and draw your own conclusions. Well, look. Keep dreaming. It's a lady with a monkey, a flying monkey, a pig and a chicken.
Nobody else apart from me.
Bex is now complaining because I was complimenting a lady we saw this morning running and I should have eyes apparently for no one except her. We've seen these a few places. These are Solperstein. They mark the houses where Jewish people were deported from during the Holocaust. Lots of places look very popular. Oh look, they do pizza. They do it's a pizza. Yay, we have a decision. We're not filming a dinner. We'll see you guys later. The menu is entirely in Norwegian. That's what I'm having. So Google Translate is our friend. We have no idea what we're having. Point and speak loudly. Although I tried that in the bar and the young girl in there, like fluent English, perfect English. The seagulls have just stolen a pizza off the table and are now running away with it.
Fighting over it.
I hope nobody was leaving that for later.